In this section, we're going to be mapping the website. We're in the meat of building our website now. And a lot of people unfortunately skip parts like this and go directly to the technical parts. But I highly recommend having this completed. It will assist you in picking out your template. We will be using this information to compare with pages on the template. This action will make our work as minimal as possible in later phases and may prevent you from picking something wrong later, which can be costly. To accomplish mapping out our site, we'll need a sitemap to use as our own guide. I have a couple of examples which you can use. This information should be also available on the extra documentation with this video. The first is on this page, and it is a very basic example of a brand website. Again, it's very basic, and so you'll likely add on some elements. Like for instance, a page on privacy policies or terms of service, which actually should be on any website you do. And perhaps maybe you want some frequently asked questions. The colors on the right represent a legend if you wish to build one yourself. On the next slide, I'll show you an example of a full e-commerce site using this color legend and a lot of the elements that you'll see. Here's a completed e-commerce mind map. Huge, right? Well, remember, all the red areas are just page elements. They'll show up only on one page. So this About Us, these three are just on the About Us page. So it really looks bigger than it is. Now, like I said before, this isn't the Bible, but it is a good place to start. We can always add or remove elements as we go, but at least we aren't trying to think on the fly. What really helps is that we'll be using a pre-designed template which often comes with demo menus and pages which have a lot of these elements already built in for us. We can use that as a jump-off point to enact our master plan. If you wish to see how to do a mind map of your own, please continue on with this particular video and I'll show you how to use the free mindmap.com tool to create one. If you wish to use the one provided here and skip to the next video, please feel free. Okay, we're at mindmap.com. If you haven't gone there already, please open your Chrome browser and browse to mindmup.com. That's mindmup.com. You should come to this window. If you do not see a window like this, you're probably in the wrong section, so please make sure you are in the MindMap website. If there is a button here, Get Started, please click on it. You should be able to browse through the website as it changes its different versions. You might have to look for it, but this is how it is now. What we want to do is create a new mind map. It's free to use, and what's great is you can save it, you can connect it to things like your Google Drive and things like that. So it's a great place to be able to do something like this, even if it's outside building websites, just brainstorming in general. Just flipping back to this slide, I'm going to be using this legend for colors of the different page elements. So first, yellow is a static page. Again, that's a page that doesn't really change too much. You're just going to build it and it's going to pretty much stay the same. The next is a dynamic page. These are things where dynamic elements come in from the back end of your website. So in this case down here, happy customers, we're going to have a testimonial feed that would come in this case. So any sort of dynamic things, blogs are an example of a dynamic page. E-commerce pages, so in purple, and those could be product pages, could be account pages, things like that. Or sorry, not account pages, that's green. But anything related to e-commerce, maybe your shopping cart and things like that. Page elements are specific elements within a page. So like a static page here, contact us, we've got a Google Map element, a contact info element, and a email contact form element. So that's the red one. And finally, in gray are menu items, or the structure of how your menus are on your website. Okay, now we're back on MindMap. So what I'm going to do is, this is the very first element that they set up here for you. It's blue, so we're going to change this. Double click to edit that element. And the first thing we're going to call this is home page. That's the main page for the site. Okay, so we're going to just right click on this to change the color of the node. So we're going to call this white because it's the very start of our page site. So I made that one white. The home page is white. Okay, now we're going to create some structure to the site. So these are going to be basically the main gray elements that we saw in the legend. Okay, to do this, we need to create child elements to this one. So this is a parent, and then we're going to make a child. So up in the top here, there's an insert child node. So every time you want to add a new one, you would click insert child node. Now, if you click away from it, that will disappear into nothingness. So we want to title it something. So we're going to call this main menu. Okay, so now that's set it in place. Now it is the main menu node. Okay, so when you activate it, it highlights here. This highlights in a little blue mark. So if I wanted to create a new child node off this main menu, I just click on it or highlight it. It's now dotted, and I can create another child node off of main menu. So in this case, let's say I wanted to make a menu that had about us on it. So this is a menu, and here is the about us menu node. Now I can go back to main menu and add another child node here. See how cool that is? It moved up automatically, created lines for me. It's really neat. So now I'm going to create one called products. So that's going to be a page dedicated to showing products. So that could be your main store page or anything like that in the menu, or you want to direct your customer to. Okay, clicking back on the main menu and adding a new element, and this will be contact us. So I'm just going to show you basically how to use this, and I encourage you to go and add more nodes. Now keep in mind, I'm just going to go back to the home page. You might run out of room as it spans out towards the right here. Maybe you need to put something to the left. So what you can do is if it does expand too far out the one direction, you can start making it go another direction or span it up higher. Click on your home page as an example of the node you want to use, create a child node, and look, it automatically created it on that side. So I'm going to just make another one. We're going to call this footer. This is the bottom of your page. Okay. Now, if I didn't like that position, I can actually move this thing around. See how it moves around like that? So it's a great way to organize it if you want to have it spreading out into a nice format. Okay, so now that we know how to just move that stuff around, I'm just going to show you how to color certain things. Like say contact us is a fairly static page. It's going to have some stuff on it, some form stuff on it. So we're going to color this one yellow because it's a static page. Okay, but I also want to say, hey, what are the elements that I want to have on my contact us page? So I'm just going to add a couple of child nodes. So the first one, maybe I want to have a contact form. So this will be a form that a customer can use to contact you and automatically email you their information, their email. And that can maybe later on down the road add them to a subscription list and various other things. So it's a great mechanism of contact, especially if you don't want to publish things like your phone number or perhaps your physical address, things like that. So you definitely need to have a way of your customers contacting you. So again, you can right click on this, and so using your right mouse button, you have a much different set of tools here. Some of them you can insert child again. So this is a quick way of doing it up here, but I'm just going to change the color. Okay, and so this one, because it's a page element, and on the legend that's red, inside the contact us is the contact form. So there we go. I can add a new node, and I want to have maybe I'm going to show a map. So I can have a Google map. So maybe you did want to show where your location is. Then you can add that on there. Okay. So that's pretty easy, and that's how it is. So just feel free to use this tool, expand it out, be creative. I'm just going to show you how to save it off when you're done. And so I'm just going to save off this little thing so you can have it on your computer and you don't lose this information. So to save this, what we want to do is go over to the file over here, and we're actually going to download. So you can download a MindMap file that you can upload to MindMap later and edit it. You can also create an image here, or a PDF. So you're probably familiar with these things. PDF is a print file or the image. So I'm just going to leave it as a PNG file and export it to my computer. And I can have that export and save to anywhere. So I'm going to click download, and there it is. It's going to give it a really funny name. I'm going to open it up, and it's saved to my other side of my computer. Here it is. So the reason why it's black in the background is because it's transparent. So that could be used and put onto anything. Okay, and now we're complete on this section, so we can move on to the next video, which we talk about finding a domain name.